Hi guys, this is Darryl with Lee's Lawn Care and Services. How y'all doing? It's Saturday morning. Getting ready to get out here and go get something done this morning. Got 8 left, so I'm gonna do probably half of those today because I got one that's like a overgrown field, and I'm gonna do that probably tomorrow because it's gonna take the whole day tomorrow. So the 7, I'll probably do the 7 today and save that one for tomorrow, and that'll do me for the week. But guys, I wanted to talk to you about something, man. I just saw something. I saw it one time before, and let me tell you about it. There was a homeless guy out there with his kids out there, man, and waving signs, you know, they're homeless and this, that, and the third, and they were in a Jeep. The Jeep looked like it was in pretty decent shape. I mean, it just, man, the only thing I can't get my head around is if you're homeless and you out there and you're asking, that's fine, but don't bring your kids out there and subject them to that, man. That's not what you teach them, you know. And for his situation, man, I mean, dude, they got jobs everywhere. Everybody's hiring. You know, you could work for McDonald's for $12, $13 an hour now. So it's just no excuse, man. You know, he got his 2 boys out there, and he out there, and they was waving a sign. I guess they must have got a good little bit of something because they was packing up and trying to get out of there. So, man, I mean, I couldn't teach my kids stuff like that, man. It's kind of degrading because a kid's mind is not fully open to a lot of the things that we have in this world. And when you teach them that, you know, and that's, I mean, it's the reality of the world. I get it, but it's really not, because the world is you can excuse me, you can create your own destiny in this world. You don't have to live like that, you know, with a sign out. I mean, I don't know the situation. I don't, you know, but I couldn't do that to my kids, man. And even if it was just me, I mean, my kids would have to be with a relative or something. And then, you know, I would probably go out there and do that if I was in that position. But I've never been in that position, so I really can't speak on that position, you know. But my opinion of that position is that you just don't do that to your kids. You know, if you want to be out there waving a sign and all this other stuff, then that's you. That's fine. Don't have your children out there like that. There's plenty of shelters, man. I mean, I used to do Uber, so I took people to shelters many a times, man. Many a times. And all they have to do is register, and the shelter will take them. It's just that simple. And then the shelters were 24 hours. You know, they can go to any time of the night they wanted or any time of the day they wanted. The manager of the shelter was always there. And what they did, they work in a network, which is surprising. And whichever one has the availability, that's the one that takes the person in, man. Because a good friend of mine, she went to a shelter because her and her mom, they got in a big old fight. She had 2 kids at the time, and she left. She brought them. You know, she had to do what she had to do until she got on her feet. But what she did, she worked while, and our kids wasn't small kids. I mean, they were I would say close to being teenagers at the time. So they were going to school and all. I mean, you know, but they were out of that shelter, you know, and she would drop them off in the morning, go to work, and then pick them up. You know, she was determined to make a way for herself, you know. And some people just don't have that drive and that you know, ability. And she told me, she said, Darryl, she said, you don't tell nobody about this. You know, I said, look, I would never do that. You know, you can count on me for not telling nobody anything about this. This is your personal life, and this is what you need to do to be a better person. So, and she did it. You know, she did it for a while, for a couple of months, until she saved up enough money. And then once she saved up enough money, she was able to leave that shelter, and you know, she did better. And not only that, she was able to. She actually got married. She met somebody, and they connected, and she got married. Her and the guys, they're married to this day, and everything is good. They have a house. They doing very well. And that's just one example of somebody turning their life around from being at what they consider the lowest point, and turning it around to being at it turned out to be one of the best things, because it made her stronger and more determined to do what she needed to do. Now her and her mom, they're still on speaking terms and all that. Their thing's still, it's okay, but it's not the best, but it's okay. It's passable, I guess. But she did what she had to do, and like I said, to see that guy out there, and I guess it's just in me, because a guy, I don't know, I feel like we fight harder, for our families to not get in that position, that's just my take on it. We go through tooth and nail to see to it. Whatever we got to do, we're going to do. Everything but rob the bank. We're going to make sure that, our family is taken care of, or where there's a will, there's a way. I believe that. If you got the will to go out there and try to make something happen, I think God will make the way for you to make it happen. But you have to have the determination within yourself to go out there and try. And if you go put the first foot forward, then God gonna put the foot behind you and gonna make sure that you get the way to survive, to make it. That's what it is. I truly believe that. I've come out here on rainy days, and I made more money on rainy days than I've made cutting in a green sky sometimes. With a clear sky. Because sometimes cutting in a clear sky, at the time, I didn't have everything as streamlined as I have it now, but I had to cut the grass and then go back to catch payment. People wasn't home and all this other stuff. Like I said, before things were streamlined, I had to do a lot of that, and so I wouldn't collect as much. I might have collected 1 or 2 people, and I might have cut 8 or 9 for the day and only got paid from like 2 people. And then I'd have to go back at some point and try to catch those people to get paid, and it was hard, because some of those areas, I wouldn't be back in those areas for a whole nother week or 2, and that was just the nature of everything that was going on at the time. This was years ago, before I got it to where it is today. Trial and error, it gets you, it shapes you mentally to get you to a certain point, to come up with the solutions. It's like, how do I fix that problem? Well, I need to have a different way of doing business like this, because I can't survive if I'm not getting paid, and I'm cutting all these yards. This money is coming out of my pocket, and there's money not being replaced. So I had to fix that part, and I fixed it. I fixed that for the most part. There's only, everybody I have now, they're great paying customers. I've gotten rid of all the bad paying customers and stuff, and the slow paying customers, they're gone. All of them had to go. We run a business here, and the thing is about running the business has expenses that have to be paid, and so those expenses have to be paid. So that means your customer needs to pay. If your customer can't pay, then they need to go. I'm just being honest, because they're wasting your time. They're wasting your time, your effort, and your energy, when you could be doing other things and getting the profit. like me and a guy talked about this some years back. He said, what's the point in keeping a customer if they're not paying you? And you go in there and they never home, and just you out of your pocket, man. And then by the time you catch up with the customer, they want to pay you one price, and they don't have all of it. They just have part of it. Nah. So that customer got to go. I'm just being honest. Those customers you got to get rid of them. So, and believe it or not, you'll get customers that'll pay more, that'll take their place easily, compared to a customer that's dragging. And I know we get emotionally attached to the customers, which we do, and I have to a degree. But you got to understand, you run a business. You have expenses. You have gas. You got repairs. You got whatever you need. You need to buy equipment. You need to buy material. You need to buy tools. A lot of stuff needs to go on. You need to buy tires. You name it. You have to do a lot of things, and that costs money. And to be able to do those things, you have to bring in money, and if you want to get funding from a bank or anyway, you have to show that you're bringing in money. And they will happily lend you money to do what you need to do. But you have to show that you're bringing in money, because they're going to know how that they're going to get paid. And that's how it works, unfortunately, you know. And if you running with customers that can't benefit you like that, then you probably need to drop them. You know, you need to drop them. You know, and I know this conversation started out one way and it's ending on another way, but what I'm saying is, you know, guys, I love you guys, and I want you guys to be successful at whatever it is you do. And I know we have perks in there where we help people out, you know, that need it, that just can't afford to do things, you know, and doing stuff a time or two for somebody on credit, that's cool, man. That's because you're giving back to the community. But you can't make a living doing anything that way if you're not bringing in money. You know, it's not feasible, you know, and that's just being honest. So, like I said, the moral of the story, guys, you know, you can be on the ground trying to find your way up, but if you got the will to find your way up, God will make the way for you to clear path through, so you can make it on the way back up, you know. So that's the moral of the message of the story, guys. If you get down, you're not going to stay down, because you have the will to push through, and God will make the way for you to make it through, so that you can have the things that you need to have to survive and be successful in this world. I love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.